Everyone has their list of their favorite games of all time, but putting them into a top 10 list can be very difficult. So I just said screw it, why not? Lists like this can show you what people really enjoy in gaming and what games they would like in the future. The games on this list range from very popular, everyone loves them, to what the frick is that game? I've never seen this. And all of these games on this list will turn into future Let's Plays later on in this channel. Fun fact, one of these games is already a series on the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this list, cause y'all are not ready for some of these games. Starting with the most what the heck is this game on this list, we have one of my childhood favorites, War of the Monsters. This game was, funnily enough, developed by Insomniac. You wouldn't guess it with how serious their games are right now. With all the Spider-Man and now with the Wolverine game coming later sometime, we don't know. Insomniac's just really forgotten their silly side, and this was honestly one of my favorites of their super silly games. I know the Ratchet and Clank games are really fun, haven't played those yet, but it's just the wackiness and whole movie theater aspect of all these monster designs are so cool, but when you throw them around, it's so goofy looking. This was in the peak era of gaming where everything was just unlockable, no DLC, no nothing. And unlocking the mini games, the 2 unlockable characters, plus getting all the costumes for all the monsters that are available is a bit of a grind, but gosh darn is the game just fun. Balanced? No, the robots absolutely wreck this game. Plus, the variety of stages were really varied. Some very much a condensed area where you could grab freaking nothing in terms of projectiles that you could grab, like cars or straight up spears. Or you'd have such a big environment you wouldn't even know where the freaking other player was. This game still holds a special place in my heart with how goofy it was and really introducing me to the whole giant monster aspect when I was a kid. And boy howdy is this game extra fun with friends. It's so chaotic. I just love it. Next on the list, it probably needs no introduction, the first God of War game. This game is such a classic for the PS2. It is M-rated as crud, because some of these scenes, if you were probably streaming, would probably get you banned. I hadn't really played the God of War franchise until Ghost of Sparta, and that was really fun. So I went back and played the original, and oh my gosh, is it both fun and very difficult sometimes. With how some of the puzzles are, or it's just me being dumb, which is very much the case, I 100% completed this game. And even more so with how I had all the costumes, I had beaten the game on the hardest difficulty and the second hardest, plus I beat the game on the hardest difficulty it would allow with all the costumes. I was obsessed with this game and completing it. And I got all the challenges done on all the challenges. It was bad. I was so obsessed that as soon as I went to go on to play God of War 2, I was kind of burnt out at that point. Since then, I did beat the start of the Norse mythology games of the God of War franchise. Still haven't played a Ragnarok. I might get to it eventually. Who knows, it might show up here sooner or later. Whoever knows. But I can't not tell you how satisfying it was to beat Ares on the hardest difficulty. It was so satisfying because the amount of retries was astronomical because of how difficult it was. The damage scaling was crazy. I can't forget this game. It's just so iconic to the franchise. It's the start, not necessarily the best, but it's personally my favorite so far. Can it be topped with the other games? Maybe sometime in the future, but as it stands, this is still probably my favorite.
I was trying to make you a great warrior. You succeeded. Godzilla!
Next we have up on this list, if you're a Godzilla fan, you know this game well. Godzilla Save the Earth. Fun fact about this game, there is a memory card with the save data that has my birth date on it. Not exact time, but it is on my birthday, and I've been a Godzilla fan since then. So aside from being a Godzilla fan since birth, this game is absolutely crazy with its unlockable roster, almost Tekken style fighting game, and just the amount of iconic characters that are just so either broken or do very little damage. And all of them are really fun when you get used to them, especially stuff like Jet Jaguar with his gimmick of growing really big, even bigger than the monsters themselves. This game's arcade mode is insanity with how many monsters you need to fight, sometimes at the same time, plus the array of minigames that were scattered throughout the game that are just either super wacky or just super fun to play around, like shooting spaceships to get points to save just a random tower. Plus, you could use all the points after the arcade run is done from your high score to purchase more monsters, concept art, stages. Man, the PS2 era had so many good unlockables. It was just the content king. I know Godzilla vs. Melee and Godzilla Unleashed are talked to death at some points when talking about Godzilla fighting games at least, but this one was personally my favorite with the wide variety of stuff that you could do. plus just the cool aspect of essentially shopping for characters. It's just kind of funny. This game, as a Godzilla fan, still holds a special place in my heart, especially since this was my first Godzilla game.
Godzilla 90 won.
You win!
What's going on? What are you?
I'm your friend!
Time for my first ever anime game, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3. And boy howdy is this game stupid amounts of fun. With the crazy roster size and all of them having unique supers, and some of them have even multiple supers, is just insane to me. And if you've noticed the Ultimate Ninjas title, then you probably heard of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. All these games are made by CyberConnect 2, the absolute pinnacle of freaking animation for video games. I will die on that hill, because the craziness of how their animations look is just insanity, and they continue to grow to this day with stuff like their newest Demon Slayer game that's going to be coming out, which I really want to get onto that, to just the Naruto Ninja Storm games. It's insane with how good their animation department is, with how just the models feel so much like the show in some ways, and just the animation being like top tier quality. There is another game on this list that we will talk about that's also CyberConnect 2, and it is one of the hypest games I've ever played. But we'll get to that. The CGI cutscenes in the game to tell the story are also really good for the time, and still kind of hold up to this day, even though if the anime models kind of look a bit jagged. But what this game really excels at, with just the decently fun combat and everyone almost really feeling same-ish, is the supers, because oh my gosh, it is peak cinema with how some of these just visually look stunning. And this was just the PS2, and the later games that they make, holy crap, is it just peak. Plus the original campaign of Naruto needing to collect crystals to win a tournament and essentially become Hokage for a day. Either way, this is still such a banger of a game. If I had to pick any other Naruto game on this list, I'd probably pick Naruto Storm 3, just because of how crazy that game is and how visually stunning that one is. But this one was just my introduction to Naruto, and it still holds up to this day. We are done with PS2 games. I swear. We're done. What can I say that hasn't been said already with how many people that have loved this game to death? The visuals are absolutely gorgeous. The story is very captivating, and just the swinging around is just so good. And even though I haven't played the second of the Insomniac Spider-Man games. I have played Miles Morales. Nothing beats this one. Still, it's just such a good game. The amount of suit variety, the amount of gadgets you can use, and stealth as Spider-Man was really good, but not as Spider-Man was really bad. And before the remaster, we had probably one of the best looking Spider-Man. I don't know why they freaking changed it. The combat in this game is really fun too. It's like probably like half of your playtime is either combat or swinging around, just messing around, to be honest. But the story really shines with how they grow Doc Ock's character with Spider-Man. It's just like, if you haven't played this game for yourself, please do. It's honestly the best Spider-Man game out there. Even when the sequels are out there, this one's still the best.
Hello, New York! New suit, same old me.
The wonderful... I knew we forgot someone. You.
Another on the what the heck is this game type of list, we have one of my absolute favorite games on the Wii U, The Wonderful 101. This game is unmatched with style. The amount of creativity in its combat and gameplay is just amazing. It's how you draw different shapes to form weapons, the amount of weapons you earn on later on in the game, the upgrades that you can spawn multiple weapons at the same time makes this game absolutely nuts. Plus, being developed by Platinum Games, it's gonna be super nuts. If you know how crazy their Bayonetta series, this one's even crazier. And if you've been on the channel long enough, you could have guessed, yes, this game was my introduction series to YouTube. I love this game so freaking much, and I had to pick one of my top 10 to just start out. And I'm surprised how far I got with just this game alone. This game's story still captivates me with how goofy it can get, but with how gut-wrenching some of the plot twists and story revelations are. Luca's backstory is honestly just kind of a copy of Shinji from Evangelion, but done way better. Him going from a little squirt that hated humanity to being one of the quintessential characters you need to stop this alien invasion. And the amount of unlockables in this game and achievements is insanity, to the point where you can technically get a character that's a reference to both Beautiful Joe and Kamen Rider Ichigo. And another thing that really shines is the boss fights. And if you know this channel, one of my most popular videos ranking the bosses from worst to best. That was before I had gotten anything clear for a mic. I still had a headset mic for that. And the fact that this game got a remaster off of Kickstarter is so inspiring, and just the fact that I can play this game to this day on modern consoles and PC just warms my heart. This game always gives itself 101%.
Team, unite up!
Give you! Making my daughter cry!
Here's a game that I desperately want to have on modern consoles, cause gosh darn, is this game stupidly cinematic in anime. This was the other game that I was talking about that was developed by CyberConnect 2 plus Capcom. This game is visually It's so hype with the level of scale some of the freaking bosses are. You can kind of boil the story down to man gets framed for murder, has his wife killed, and his daughter abducted, and is too angry to die and will fight anyone to get his daughter back. So naturally, it's a really fun game. Over Kratos in God of War 2018, we have the original Dad of War, and he fought hard. Man had two different transformations that were so hype when you first saw them. The planetary and almost solar system level characters that he had to fight was just insane. This was the game plus Naruto Storm 3 that did quick time events so well. Like, they are so impactful that you just want to keep doing them. Plus, just the combat, while being very simple, is really fun to do. It's not super crazy compared to something like Devil May Cry. The level of care in some of the animations is just so buttery smooth. And this is without any like anime filtering that they usually do with the rest of their games, like the cell shading. This was fully textured, like fully detailed textures. If you put the cutscenes all up against each other, you just have a movie at that point, and you have such a well animated movie. This design inspired the logo for my channel. You can kind of see the resemblance. I wish Capcom would remaster this game and put it on modern consoles, but that would be for them and CyberConnect 2 to decide. I would love to. Man's just gonna have to stay angry and stuck on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Time for another hidden gem that isn't, I guess, as hidden anymore. Kid Icarus Uprising. Gosh darn how good this game looks on the 3DS. It's so freaking fun, and I wish I had better words, but it's so fun. The air combat, the land combat, especially the land combat with some bosses. The comedy with the dialogue is so freaking fun. The twist of Hades in the halfway marker is just both funny and epic, and Hades probably might be one of my favorite villains of all time. He's so freaking comedically dark. Plus the voice acting in all the cutscenes for this game is just top notch. With some voice actors I don't even really hear anymore. The last time I heard Pit's voice actor was Blue Beetle in Injustice 2. Yes, that's him. The fact that this is a sequel to a original NES game that is like years old, almost probably decades old at this point, is just so crazy to me. And the fact that so much love and care was put into this game with like enemy designs, with character arcs, with character designs, with how the boss fights are really fun to do. The designs of each enemy tribe you get to fight. You fight the underworld, the Arum, and the forces of nature. It's just some of the goofiest, creepy, sometimes really cool designs. The fact that they have their own little talking thing in Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate is just so good that it's so good that they have more to work with. And I wish they would kind of make another one, or just put it on Switch already, for the love of everything. I used to play the levels on repeat after repeat after repeat, especially the Hue Draw chapter. It is so much fun seeing all the different dialogue options you get with the 3 different heads. It's so goofy and fun, and the level of detail is insane. I am 100% doing a series on this game because Oh my gosh, if you haven't played this or have this sitting in your house and haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it. It's just so much fun. The weapon variety alone is just insane with the different weapon types and weapon designs. It's just brimming with creativity. The fact that we got this game at all on the 3DS, how good this game is. I wish there was a remake for it. Maybe there's still hope. I really wish so. Little angel boy can once fly again.
Victory!
Another game that needs no introduction, especially with how many people ask for Silksong, and we finally got a hint to it in a Nintendo Direct. Just a tiny snippet. It was so close to getting number 1, but number 2 ain't bad. Hollow Knight. This game is gorgeous with its 2D art style. The fact that each one of these is drawn with all the different frames is just so beautiful looking, and it is brutal at times, especially stuff like Path of Pain and some of the bosses. Woo-wee! The absolute freaking fun of the platforming and the boss fights are just so satisfying to get down. Especially with some fights in like the arena where you can't get hit at all and you beat them without getting hit is just so satisfying. And this has probably my second favorite boss fight of all time with Grim Troop. His fight and his boss theme are just so freaking fun. His especially felt like such a difficult but fair fight with how his moves functioned. The fact that you could actually learn what to do. The Metroidvania style of this game works so well, and how big the map is insane. Just with how different each land feels and looks. Not one land looks similar to each other, other than maybe the floor. And sometimes that's even changed. I was surprised how much it didn't show up on like big YouTubers game lists. I had no idea. No one big had really played this game, so it wasn't really shown up on my radar of games. But just looking at it on Steam, just the art style alone is what sold me on this game. And just the gameplay and the bosses alone really put it up to how high it is. It's so freaking fun, and the satisfaction of beating hard bosses cannot be beat. It's a Metroidvania Souls-like, so of course it's gonna be hard, but oh my gosh, is it ever just a fun time. We'll still be waiting for Silksong whenever that comes out, hopefully. What can I say that has not been said enough about this game? The visuals, the combat, the story, the fact that this was technically my first Devil May Cry game before I played any other in the franchise. Yes, this was my introduction to Devil May Cry, and oh my gosh, was it the best. Probably not from a storytelling standpoint, but oh my gosh, the amount of characters you can play, how fun each of their combat is, the stylish nature of everything. Nero is probably one of my favorite protagonists of all time because just his growth from DMC4 to 5 is just so good. Highly recommend the Devil May Cry franchise. From a storytelling standpoint, I wouldn't recommend playing 5 first, but if you want to play just peak gameplay, I'd absolutely recommend Devil May Cry 5. Full stop. It's a freaking 10 out of 10 game. And the fact that there's so much content that you can unlock, and freaking Virgil is nuts, especially with that theme. Honestly, the music alone sold me on this game before I had really seen any gameplay or any of the other games' gameplay. It's what sold me. Both Devil Trigger and Bury the Light are iconic for a reason. They are so good and so hyped for this game. The other tracks, man, not as much. This game has probably my favorite scene. It's Nero's Devil Trigger cutscene. It's so hype, it's so emotional. It is visually stunning, and when he crashes down, it is so hype hearing the music and just the sound of it landing. If I had to pick my favorite out of the 4 characters you can play, it's gotta be Virgil. His gameplay is just so fun, even though he is kind of the easiest character to use. To a degree, that I know there's some very top tier things that you can do with him. Crazy gameplay that you can do with him is nuts, but from like a simple gameplay standpoint, he's probably the easiest, especially with how easy you can rank up SSS rank combos. But yeah, this was my introduction to the franchise, and I do not regret it. Such a mind-blowing game, especially with how good the RE engine looks with this franchise. Oh boy, it's just beautiful, especially with how some of the gross demon designs are. It's just so visually stunning. Could I have started with DMC3 or 1? I could have, but this was my introduction, and I am happy it was. And that does it for this countdown. Are some of these games on your list of top 10 games? Leave a comment down below, or comment down below what are some of your favorite games that might not have appeared on this list. And I know there's major franchises that I'm missing out on, like Mario and Luigi, Paper Mario, God of War Ragnarok, the Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Abe's Odyssey. There's so many games in my library that I still need to get to, which might dethrone some other games. I might not know, but that concludes this countdown. I hope you enjoyed it, because this was a lot of fun to make. God bless y'all. Comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified on all my future videos and shorts, and I will see you all in the next adventure. Bye!